Legend of women's golf. At just 33, what happened to Michelle Wie? How did she manage to take revenge? In today's video, we're getting into an incredible story of perseverance, determination, and ultimate redemption. That's right, we're talking about the one and only Michelle Wie and how she finally got her revenge in the world of golf. But before we continue, was Michelle Wie's problems more mental than physical? Well, fans think so. Be sure to finish this video, because we'll fill you up with some updates. Who is Michelle Wie? Among professional golfers, Michelle Wie has achieved superstar status. She was already a sports sensation when she was just 10 years old, according to the press. She played on the PGA and LPGA tours, alongside elite players when she was a teenager. It was golf that this Hawaiian lady chose to make her living. Competing in events such as the Women's British Open and the Women's PGA Championship has allowed her to display her talents. A native of Honolulu, Hawaii, Michelle Wie was born into this world on October 11, 1989. Their daughter was born to Byung-wook and Bo Wie, who encouraged her to pursue a career in golf. Both of her moms were contestants in the Miss Korea pageant. Wie grew up with an exemplary character. Even though she was only 4 years old, she had already mastered a variety of sports strategies. The fact that Wie continued to play without a seizure proved to her father that he had been correct. At the tender age of 9, Michelle had already fine-tuned her golfing abilities. Their family would sometimes play together, and Wie would score goals galore. In an adult golf tournament, Michelle Wie had the opportunity to play when she was 10 years old. Despite the difficulty of the event, she was surprised to see that she had qualified as the youngest player to go to the next phase. Here is where her reputation in the golfing world began to take shape. When she was 12 years old, she competed in tournaments around the world with professional golfers to show off her abilities. This innate skill enabled her to hit the ball from a distance of up to 300 yards. We know we promised you a reveal later on, but what do you think happened to Michelle? Does she really have mental problems? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Her early golfing career, playing golf professionally since October 2005, just days before her 16th birthday, Michelle Wie has already established herself as a formidable opponent on the PGA and LPGA tours. Though he didn't pick up a club until he was 4 years old, Wie became the youngest golfer to ever qualify for a USGA Amateur Championship when he was 10 years old. She broke the record for youngest U.S. Women's Amateur Public Links Championship winner in 2003. In the same year, she competed against Annika Sorenstam and other LPGA greats in her maiden major event participation at the tender age of 13. Wie, who stands at 6 feet tall and is famous for her big drives, has competed against males in events including the 2003 PGA Sony Open and the Hawaii Pearl Open, where she finished in the middle of the pack of pros despite not making the cut. With 2 top 10 and 4 top 20 finishes under her belt, she had already made it to the final round of 7 LPGA Tour events by the time she was 14 years old. She finished second to Sorenstam at the LPGA Championship in June of 2005 and tied for second at the LPGA's SBS Open in February of 2005 while she was still an amateur. Wie was compared to Tiger Woods for her talent and ability to attract people to the sport when she turned pro. She also had multi-million-dollar endorsement deals from Nike and Sony. She tied for 3rd place in the US Open in 2006 while competing largely in men's events, such as the European Tour. Played in the Women's Open, but her performance was lackluster, and her status as a wonder started to diminish. Even though she was still a media darling and only a teenager in 2007, her game took a nosedive after she hurt her right wrist. After becoming eligible for the LPGA Tour in 2008, Wie made her professional debut the following year. Why did she retire? Superstar golfer Michelle Wie West retired in the week's U.S. Women's Open at Pebble Beach. In 2014, the 33-year-old American superstar won the U.S. Open, giving her a total of 5 LPGA Tour victories. She became a mommy for the first time in 2020 when she gave birth to McKenna. One of the main reasons Wie West decided to leave her golf clubs in the garage is so she can spend more time with her daughter. I wanted to play for a longer time. I really did. Because of McKenna and the fact that she is a girl, I felt an overwhelming desire to do so. My body forced me to make a tough choice, and I'm sorry about it. As a mother, you have it tough out here. A great deal of giving up is required. Wie West told ESPN before the US Open that he had to make a tough decision for both his health and his personal life. We're almost at the end. Do you have any theories yet? Stay tuned. What is her net worth? American professional golfer Michelle Wie is worth $20 million. At the tender age of 10, Wie achieved an incredible milestone. She became the youngest individual in history to ever qualify for the USGA Amateur Championship. When she qualified for an LPGA Tour tournament, she was the youngest golfer ever. Michelle started playing golf at the tender age of 4, and she made the announcement that she was becoming pro right before she turned 16. Wie won the 2003 U.S. Women's Amateur Public Links at the age of 13 and played in the 2004 Curtis Cup at the age of 14, making her the youngest golfer to do so. Both events were sanctioned by the USGA. Among her many accomplishments, she took home the HSBC Women's World Championship in 2018, the LPGA Lotte Championship in 2014, the Lorena Ochoa Invitational in 2009, and the CN Canadian Women's Open in 2010. Two of Michelle's notable appearances in recent years have been in the 2015 CBS series Hawaii 5-0 and the 2021 documentary The Day Sports Stood Still. Michelle Wie's comeback. Michelle Wie West announced her retirement from professional golf during the U.S. Women's Open. Just over a year after that, she dropped a hint about a potential comeback in a mysterious message. According to TMZ Sports, there is a possibility that she will decide not to retire. When the magazine wanted to know if West would ever play golf professionally again, she answered like Justin Bieber. Using the Justin Bieber song reference, Wie West quipped, "Never say never," when at LAX. As golf fans were betrayed by the premature end of Wie West's remarkable talent, that is an exhilarating message. It seems certain, though, that she would retire during the U.S. Women's Open. This 34-year-old golf prodigy was on the rise. Both in her amateur and professional careers, Wie West achieved a great deal. Her one major victory, the 2014 U.S. Women's Open, and 5 LPGA victories don't exactly scream legendary when put on paper. As we come to an end, is Michelle's problem really mental rather than physical? She's often considered a major player on the women's golf circuit. The former LPGA Tour sensation's unbelievable wins and amazing tournament play have won over millions of admirers. Nevertheless, the golfer has faced many difficulties during her career, despite her outstanding abilities. Actually, the golfer's mental state was just as affected by the game as his physical health. Plus, she just lately discussed how these kinds of things affected her emotionally when she was working. While appearing on an episode co-hosted by Hallie Leadbetter and the golfer, West discussed the toll that the sport had on her mental health. "When I played bad when I came back home, I wasn't allowed to smile, to go out to dinner and have fun with friends," she said. "It took me a really long time to understand the concept that golf is golf and life is life." After a poor performance on the course, she continued to feel terrible about herself because of this mindset. "I felt like that was really hurting me. It became so bad that it had an effect on my mood afterwards and caused me anxiety in the past." It was the same for her mood. Whenever she performed well, it took her to a place where she would smile and enjoy herself. So, there you have it, the incredible comeback story of Michelle Wie. If you're inspired by her journey, give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and let us know in the comments what you think of Michelle's amazing journey. And as always, stay tuned for more amazing stories from the world of sports. Until next time, keep swinging for the stars.